everyone, and welcome back to A State of Mind. Today we are here with Mark Wain, one of the founders of LA's most beloved coffee shops, Caffe Luxxe. With a strong passion for community, craft coffee, and entrepreneurship, Luxxe has grown into a thriving brand with 7 locations and 1 more on the way. Built from the ground up alongside his best friend, Chau, we are so excited to learn more. How are you doing today?
Doing great. How are you doing?
We're doing good.
Good
How
to
you
see
doing?
you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Good to be seen. Good to see you.
Yeah, Caffe Luxxe has been one of my favorite coffee shops since I was probably... When did it open in the Palisades? Which year?
2017? 2017.
Yeah, so I think I've been going every day since I lived in the Palisades since then. I'm not going to do the math right now, but so, and also just in general in Brentwood and everywhere else, it's like a West Side staple. So if you grew up on that side of town, you grew up going there all the time. So we're going to talk about a lot of different things today, but I would like to start off with asking how it began.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
what were you doing before, and how long did you have the vision and all in between? Whatever you have.
all right. Well, I give you the short story. I give you the long story.
Oh, we want the long story. We came for the long story.
The long story is, I grew up in a South American family, and that meant that, if you were old enough to drink coffee with the adults, that was your rite of passage. That you were an adult. You were a grown up. And so my family would drink coffee in the morning, before breakfast, one with breakfast, one after breakfast because it helps with the digestion, and then move into the afternoon. So
sounds like you.
I should have been in your family.
we grew up a coffee drinking family, but it wasn't until I was getting ready to go to college that I discovered espresso and found out that the coffee that I was drinking at home was not very good. At that time, coffee shops the way they are now weren't really a thing. Mm-hmm. And so my friends and I would go and we would sit at Denny's and we would, get a cup of coffee late into the night and just...
After a big night out.
and solve the world's problems. Exactly.
Yeah, some pancakes, some coffee.
So fast forward to college and went to school in the Bay Area. And
Where'd you go to college?
Berkeley. I went to UC Berkeley.
Okay.
And there were these, European style cafes, and I hadn't been to Europe at the time. And so I was like, wow, this is really cool. I would study at cafes. I would meet people at cafes and socialize at cafes. I was like, this is really, really neat. Mm-hmm. Moved back down to LA after college. This is early 90s, and there still weren't any of these coffee shops. I was like, this would be a really cool idea.
That's a crazy thought.
Yeah.
That like in my age group, like 20s, there weren't other coffee shops. I would go crazy. Like it's the only thing that basically keeps me from not like crashing the cars, knowing I get my little treat of the day.
That's true. You would have been at Denny's.
I would not have been. Sorry, no offense to Denny's. But no, I mean, I can't even imagine that because there's so many now too.
Yeah.
I mean, you started a huge trend that we'll talk about a little bit later. Sure. But yeah, please continue. Sorry.
Yeah. So started working in a real job and, kept thinking about, those coffee shops. And then, this is now the mid 90s.
Wow. I didn't realize you had it that long.
And coffee, Starbucks has started popping up everywhere. And I was like, oh man, they took my idea.
And the worst is when you see someone do something that you should have done. And you're like, I have this idea. Then you see someone do it and it's a gut punch.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, you can either be a bystander for life or you can be like, I'm going to make a move,
Right.
Yeah.
And so around that time then, still working full time and was going to business school. And that's where I met Gary.
Oh, yeah. Sadly, Gary couldn't be here today.
Yeah.
But that is one of your best friends and business partners.
Yes. Yeah. We met in business school and we started.
Where'd you go to business school?
USC.
USC. Okay.
At the time, it hadn't even been Marshall yet. It turned into Marshall at that time. And so we were there, and because we were in the evening program, they split us up into groups based on where people lived. So that way, you could get together with your study group. And Gary and I were in the same group on the West Side. And, we just became fast friends, and throughout business school, we took a lot of the same courses together, and we studied together. And I would say, oh, we should go study in cafes. And he's like, oh, I don't know. I can't really study in cafes. And I'm like, he's like, because when I grew up, cafes were more social. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I like social. And we started talking about the social and the community aspects of the coffee shop. Fast forward another couple of years, post business school, and we're talking, hey, what are we going to do? We wanted to break away from the corporate world, and what are we going to do? And we're just like, trying to decide how we're going to, do something for ourselves. I ended up moving to Seattle for work. Oh. Gary ended up moving to London for work.
Two big coffee places.
Yeah.
And right there in Starbucks's backyard was this thriving independent coffee scene. And so one January, Gary came to visit me in Seattle, and I took him to one of my favorite coffee shops in Seattle. And, there was checkerboard floors, and
I love that. And music, and maybe it's the weather. Do you think it's the rain and people just feel like they want to be in that type of setting?
I mean, it's at the same time.
London's like that.
But no matter where you are, you want a place that you can find the community, whether it's raining or sunny.
But maybe that's where it started, because it's like bad weather and you wanted to go to a place, and then it expanded
a place
to
that
LA.
Have community in bad weather, so you're not at home basically by yourself.
Yeah,
so
sure.
You seek out, because you have to try harder when it's like not sunshine every day.
Right.
Yeah.
This place had, vinyl bar stools that were like held together with duct tape. And the guy behind the bar, who I ended up getting to know because I'd frequented the coffee shop, was a really super nice guy, but he did not have a very, warm personage, if you will. He looked like he was going to, beat you if you ordered incorrectly. And Gary and I mean, I'm having sleeves, and, I'm not really, don't have things,
You're not a hipster.
I'm not a hipster. Thank you. That's that.
The edgy look.
And I don't have an edgy look. No. And so Gary and I were sipping this really great coffee going, this is really great, but, where do you and I go where, we could feel comfortable, sitting there and just kind of relaxing without kind of being on edge.
Or where do you feel like you don't stick out like a sore thumb?
Exactly.
And you find your people. Because at the end of the day, it's just about finding your people in your community, right? So it's like, and businesses, on like small businesses that now are not so small, you have like 7. I mean, almost 8 with another one coming.
Well, we had 8 at the beginning of this year, and now we have 7.
Now we have 7.
Minus the Palisades.
Minus the Palisades.
But now we're going to have 8 again. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we literally, talked about, okay, well, a coffee shop with, a really premium product like this, but also a premium, hospitality. And
I go to Malibu now since the fire. We lost our home in the Palisades fire, and pivoted to Malibu. But they're so nice, and it's the same faces. A lot of the employees from the Palisades, they're in Malibu, and they're just all so friendly. It
says a lot, because I have never seen a coffee shop with employees that have stayed so long. That says a lot. As someone who, like, I've worked at coffee shops and other restaurants, like years ago, but like, you don't see this, you see them for a bit, and usually they end up going, they rotate and go somewhere else. To see people who have worked, like, there are certain Palisades employees, I think, that have been there for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And I don't see them going anywhere. And they just pivoted to maybe the Santa Monica location right now. And that's crazy. That says a lot about the way you built your business and the way you treat your employees. Which leads me to my question is, when you started the first one, which was in Santa Monica, did you think that you would have all these locations and it would be this big? Or you wanted
Short answer is yes.
Yes.
But the long answer is, the way it was originally sketched out on the business plan, we probably would have gotten there a little sooner.
Okay.
So, we sketched out a business plan. We were refining it and working on it for over 4 years. and, to business school people, probably over engineering the business plan.
Well, my favorite part of the story was like you were at this corporate job and you just basically have had it. And your best friend, business partner calls you and goes, "Are we doing it?" And you're like, "Yeah, we're doing it." And then it's like, they're just like, "Woo!" and rip the Band-Aid off, which is, I think everyone can relate to having a passion that they want to do that for.
Sure.
And, having the balls to do it takes it's a different level. It's scary,
It is scary. It was very scary.
The idea for the beans, because everyone talks about the Montenegro beans. It's like the staple in my house, and that's all anyone talks about is when are the beans. They want to get these beans, and they check the dates, and you don't want to get it too soon.
Right.
Don't have too many on your shelf because they're not as fresh.
Right.
But where did you get your idea to find the coffee beans?
Well, I mean, it comes down to having a POV, having a point of view. This the Montenegro beans.
I said it wrong.
That's what I like.
Montenegro. Okay.
Okay.
That's what I like.
Right.
I like, bold, rich flavors, little hints of the other flavors, a hint of jasmine, nice floral finish. But at the end of the day, that flavor that really kind of stands up. And, we like to joke about it at the roastery. It's coffee that tastes like coffee.
Well, it's dark. It feels heavy. That's what I like.
Yeah, it's got a rich body, which when you put it into a like a cappuccino or a latte, it stands up to it and it complements it. It doesn't vanish.
I mean, the worst is when you get a cup of coffee and it's like kind of watery or it's acidic or something like off, and you're just like. And you don't realize you're kind of spoiled by the fact that that's what it's supposed to taste like. It's just supposed to have like a deep and hearty coffee taste. It shouldn't be all these. I mean, of course, there's different flavored coffees, but like it shouldn't be. It should, at the end of the day, be pretty self-explanatory and be just good. Do you guys plan on opening back up in the Palisades?
Absolutely.
Have you?
Absolutely.
Okay. That's good.
Well, I mean. Hopefully, but I mean, at the end of the day, we don't know what's going to happen with that property, with that location.
Where are you guys at in terms of there? Just because, we would love that because we have people coming back in and they're wanting coffee.
An office in the Palisades, right? But we need you close to us,
right?
So that we can get our coffee.
Funny story. Every time we get somebody going, "Oh, you should open in whatever community." The first question I usually ask is, "Where do you live?" And it's usually that community.
Yeah. Yep. Fair.
Yeah. I mean, we are absolutely looking to go back to the Palisades. We love the Palisades community. I mean, it is such a tight knit community, and
it's so tight. There's really nothing like it because of course there are smaller feeling communities in LA, but there's nothing quite like that one because it's just so walkable and accessible, and everyone who was there had been there for like 20, 30 years, and there's not a lot of rotating. And when there's a new face, I mean, of course people come in, but when you're like a new face who's like a regular, it's like, oh, you must have moved here, and it's super close. And to have that in such a big city is rare.
Yeah.
We miss it.
We're trying our best to help it come back.
So are we.
I have a question. Where do you get your pastries from? They're always so good. Everyone loves the almond croissant.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and I know you don't bake them, but you source them out and they come fresh.
Fresh every day.
Yeah.
They're delivered fresh every morning. They're baked every morning. And so, I mean, it is one of the core principles of Caffe Luxxe is that it's got to be fresh.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've had a few different vendors over the years, but one of the core things that, the quality of the product has to be superior. It has to be freshly baked, and they have to be able to get to all of our locations.
Yeah, no, they're great. I like the oatmeal too.
Yeah.
I would buy 10 of those at a time and keep them in my car because I'm always driving around. And you make that.
Yeah,
that's really good.
He's very hands-on. I remember we were talking about, because we are doing a drink collaboration with Caffe Luxxe.
Yes, we are.
January 15th through February 15th. kind of the 1-year anniversary of the fires, which is, sad, but we wanted to do something special. So we are going to be donating. We've come up with a drink together. It'll be at all of the locations, assuming Culver City is up and running, but all West Side locations, fingers crossed. And we'll be doing 1 month with them. It'll be a honey shaken espresso drink, Palisades collab. And we're going to be having a launch party at the Montana location, January 15th, 1 through 3 p.m. Everyone's invited. Please come, bring your friends. We're going to be donating some proceeds of that to the LAFD, Los Angeles Fire Department. And it'll be super fun. So come by and show some support. We'd love that. And if you don't make that, come and get the drink at some point. We're really grateful that you guys were so generous to do this with us.
Yeah, that was really nice.
It was really nice of you to do this, and it means a lot. And you guys have been so easy to work with.
Well, we try hard every day. I mean, again, that's ultimately, one of the things that we do, and we do over and over again. I mean, being responsive, being, nobody likes to reach out to somebody and then not hear back. Nobody likes to.
No.
But you're so personal. It's really
no, and it's like we were saying earlier privately, that it's really rare to meet with people and physically get something done. And when I had this idea and I met with you were just like, oh no, let's meet at one of the coffee shops. And you're like, bought me a coffee and we sat down and I was like, now this is literally the point, right? Yeah. That's the whole point.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we wish you luck. We hope that you come back soon to the Palisades because we're counting on you.
We're counting on you in a way that I feel like when that comes back, people will be like, I think I can actually come back now. Because it's like you wake up, you have a little sense of home. I mean, to move back and then not have, because there really isn't anything else, to not have a place to go grab a cup of coffee in your neighborhood is really sad.
Yeah.
That's right.
So we need you.
And we do. And families are coming back into the Palisades and spirits there. Yeah. And Caruso was so generous and he did his Christmas tree lighting a couple of nights ago in the town and I was there. It was just people had tears in their eyes. It was so packed full of local people. You couldn't even park your car. It just felt so nice to see everyone there. So, we'll be excited when you come back.
Yeah. I mean, we visit the Palisades frequently. I mean, not as often as we'd like, but we visit frequently. And, I want to say just recently, we're starting to see some more, like you said, life coming back to the Palisades.
Families are moving back.
Families are moving back, even
it's
just
perfect timing. Let's
even just even just like a few months ago, we would drive around and the only people who were there were, construction workers who are building houses. Yeah. And stuff. And so now the people are coming back. So it's really exciting.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
So come and grab your Palisades drink. It's called the Pali Buzz. Pali Buzz, January 15th through February 15th. Montana location. We've got 2 Brentwood locations at the Country Mart and 1 on San Vicente. We have Malibu and potentially Culver City is coming soon. Yeah. So
right.
You can't really miss it if you're on the west side. So go for it. All right. We'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Thank you.
Can you